So our next bill up, and I believe this is our last bill, is House File 993, which is the higher education budget bill. Chair Bernardy, I understand that you have an author's amendment. Would you like to move that your bill to be recommended for placement on the general register and tell us about it? And then we can come back to your amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. In an unprecedented year of a global pandemic, it's no secret that our students have been hit especially hard. We crafted together a higher education budget that serves students now and in the future. Minnesota students deserve the opportunity to achieve their dreams and provide economic security for themselves and their families. We're investing in Minnesotans so they can thrive and emerge stronger post-COVID-19. Notably, our bill holds tuition flat at Minnesota State, increases funding to the state grant program, which will impact over 75,000 students, prioritize financial support for people of color and American Indian students studying to become teachers, which is an important tool in helping close the opportunity achievement gap in Minnesota, provides mental health resources and student support. It protects student consumers from fraudulent practices of for-profit colleges, and it includes numerous equity provisions that I will highlight after our nonpartisan staff walks through the spreadsheet with the changes.
All right. So, Chair Bernardy, she moved House File 993 and she recommended it to be placed on the general register. Would you also now like to move your A12 author's amendment and explain it to us?
Sure, I will move the A12 amendment, and it is technical changes regarding the concurrent enrollment. And then we, the Office of Higher Education, ran the numbers, and we had an opportunity to be able to change the language to increase the living and miscellaneous expenses from in-law, which currently is in law at 106. We were proposing 110, and now we're able to move to 113%, and reducing the student family, assigned family responsibility for independent students with and without children, by reducing it by 1%.
All right. Members, are there any questions on the amendment? Representative O'Neill.
Madam Chair, and thank you, Chair Bernardy. I do appreciate this session and being able to work with you, and you have really heard my concerns. And it was funny because this was, I think, one of my closing comments about trying to make it even a little bit easier for students and lowering their costs, and that's basically what you're doing here. I just want to clarify that this, in fact, does not change your overall, so you're still staying within your target of 120 million over base. And maybe just explain just a little bit for those listening about what you mean that there was an opportunity. I'm assuming that some calculation was done and you were able to change these numbers but still stay within the target. If you could just clarify that. Thank you, Chair Bernardy.
Okay.
Thank you,
Chair Bernardy.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Representative O'Neill, and it has been a pleasure to serve on this committee with you, and I appreciate your and your caucus's involvement in drafting this actually bipartisan bill that we ended up passing in committee. And to go a little bit deeper is what the Office of Higher Education reran their numbers to take into account the federal changes to the federal Pell Grant dollars, as well as the tuition freeze for Minnesota State. And that amount of money was able to be given broader to students through the state grant program, and that was approximately $18 million.
Okay. Representative O'Neill, is there a follow-up?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think her audio broke up, but I think she said it was a change of 18 million, which actually is quite a bit. So I'm just wondering if you could tell us where you're adding that into. Just explain the 18 million really quickly.
Right. Part of that is for the living and miscellaneous expenses, and as you know, that it was 106% in law, and the amount went to 110% last year, and we made that permanent, and we were able to up it to 113%. That's where a lot of the money is appropriated in this amendment. And then we also put in reducing, like I said, the student family responsibility for independent students. And if you'd like any more deeper information about that, we can call on OP.
Yeah. So Representative Neal, the House fiscal staff will be walking through the bill if you need more clarity. They will be doing that. Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll just wait for that. Thank you so much. I wouldn't have asked, but it came kind of at the last minute and I haven't had a chance to dig into the spreadsheet. So I appreciate that going through here. Thank you.
Okay. So Chair Bernardy renews her motion to adopt the A12 amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All opposed. The motion prevails and the amendment is adopted. There's also an 813 amendment that's been filed. Will someone be offering that amendment?
I will be, Madam Chair.
Okay, Chair Bernardy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair and members. This amendment was, the idea was brought to us by Representative Erickson in our committee, and I worked on it further and worked with our nonpartisan staff as well as Office of Higher Education and the student organizations. And we were able to come up with an amendment that gives the Office of Higher Education a larger role and preserves the Student Association role in awarding our hunger-free campus grants.
Are there any questions to the 813 amendment? So on the motion, Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just quickly for my members, I support this amendment. This is very similar to something that we had offered in committee. And instead of having the student organization, actually it says review designated grant applications and provide final approval for the grant disbursement. Instead of having a student association do that, instead they're doing it in coordination with the Office of Higher Education, which I feel is much more appropriate, and I would support the amendment.
Okay. So with that, Chair Bernardy again renews, I'm sorry here. So on a motion to adopt the 813th amendment, we're going to take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion prevails and the amendment is adopted. So with that, why don't we turn this over to our House fiscal staff, our nonpartisan staff, to do a walkthrough of the spreadsheet.
Madam Chair and members, for the record, Ken Savory, House fiscal staff. I'll be taking you through the spreadsheet, and I believe that Mr. McCall will be sharing the spreadsheet that was posted on the website momentarily, and that appears to be happening. So I'll go ahead and start. The first changed item is on line 24. This is an increase to the state grant program, an increase of $6.3 million above the base. This takes into account the changes in the A12 amendment. So this increase and thus the appropriation is identical to the DE amendment that left the House Higher Education Finance Committee last week. So there's no change in that appropriation other than the change that was adopted by the committee. So the $6.3 million increase. Scrolling down more, you'll see more change items to the Office of Higher Education, which are on line 73 through 88. Line 76 is the increase for the emergency assistance for post-secondary students, $1.3 million increase over base. Line 77 is the direct admissions pilot program, which is a $1 million new program in FY 22-23, and then the reduction of, and then a reduced tail spending of $150,000. Line 78 is the summer academic enrichment program. That is a $1 million increase from the base. Line 79 is the ICAP, Innovation for College Attendance Program grant. That's a 1.430 increase above the base in FY 22-23. Line 80 is an increase to the agency administration appropriation to the Office of Higher Education. That increase is $427,000 in the current biennium. and then $354,000 in the tails. Line 81 is the grants to teacher candidates program. This is a reduction due to some language in the bill that separates out who is eligible for the program. So this reduction of $1.5 million is redistributed within the bill to a different program that separates out those that are eligible for certain candidate teaching grant programs. Line 82 is the removal of the dual training competency grants for the Department of Labor and Industry at the reduction of $400,000 from the base, which effectively removes it from the bill. Line 84 is the interstate tuition reciprocity appropriation. That's a reduction of $5,036,000 in FY 22-23, identically in the tails. Line 84 is a new appropriation for the hunger-free campus grants. That is $498,000 in FY 22-23, and then $446,000 in the tails. Line 85 is a one-time appropriation in FY 22-23 of $550,000 for the Addiction Medicine Fellowship Program. Line 87 is the Aspiring Teacher of Color Act scholarships. These are one-time appropriations consisting of $4.5 million in FY 22-23. And then line 88 is the grants to underrepresented teacher candidates. This is the reduction from the grants to teaching candidates program plus additional funding from the target. So that new funding in FY 22-23 is $4,921,000. And then additionally in the tails, funding of $5,256,000. And then line 88 is some additional reductions for administrative cancellations. Scrolling down more to the next agency, which is Minnesota State. The Minnesota State changes for the system are on line one, begin on line 121. And this is an increase to the operations and maintenance, or O&M, of $64.5 million in FY 22-23. And then additionally in the tails, $86 million in total. Line 122 is the Supporting Students' Basic Needs appropriation. This is a $2.5 million increase above the base to the operations and maintenance. Line 123 is the Z-Degree textbook program, or Z-Degree textbook program. That's a $500,000 one-time increase in each year, so $1 million above the base. Line 24 is for mental health services. This is a permanent increase of $100,000 in each fiscal year. And then on line 125 is the Career and Technical Education Pilot Program. This is a $400,000 increase one time in fiscal year 22. In total, the Min-State has increased appropriation from the general fund of $68,600,000 in FY 22-23. And then finally, the last set of changes per the bill are for the University of Minnesota. On line 150 is the operations and maintenance increase. That is $39,750,000. And then in the tails, that is $52 million above the base for the operations and maintenance. Additionally, for the U of M, there was a change to one of the state special appropriations. Line 162 is the system special. And correspondingly on line 166, the appropriation for the state system special was increased by $1 million in each fiscal year. Specifically, there is language in the bill that targets that increase to NRI for research purposes. And Madam Chair, that concludes the changes within the spreadsheet and of the higher education bill.
All right, members. So members, are there any questions for Chair Bernardy or the nonpartisan staff on the bill? Representative O'Neill.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just looked really quickly at the end number, and if I, as Mr. Savory was looking through it, and it said 125 million was the total above base, and maybe I'm not seeing that correctly, but I thought the target was 120 million. If either Mr. Savory or if Chair Bernardy could speak to that.
Okay, Mr. Fiscal Staff.
Madam Chair and members, the spending above base is, yes, 125,340,000, but the net impact on the general fund is 120 million. There is $5,340,000 of reductions in fiscal year 21. So when you combine fiscal years 21, 22, and 23 changes, that is a net impact to the general fund of 120 million.
Okay, Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. And then also in the line item talking about what's normally a transfer from OHE to Dolly, and it's about the dual training program. If I remember correctly in presentation in committee, so you're removing 400,000 as a transfer, but is that also now going to be just under the Dolly budget? So we're not eliminating it, it's just, we're not doing the transfer. Is that correct?
Mr. Savory.
Madam Chair and members, yes, the appropriation will no longer be within the higher ed portion, but I believe it still will exist within the labor area.
Okay, Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good. Yeah, I just want to make sure we get that on the record because long ago, I think it's back in 2015, I was working with then Senator Bonoff, and we worked on the dual training program and did a lot of work to that. And I would say that the language of this bill actually improves it and kind of reverts it back to what we had back in 2015 in some areas, but it's some good changes. Would it be appropriate to speak to the whole of the bill at this point, Madam Chair?
Well, before you do that, I do believe, well, let me see. Chair Bernardy, would you like to speak more to your bill now, or would you like to speak after Representative O'Neill?
Well, Madam Chair, if you wouldn't mind me pointing out the different, the Select Committee on Racial Justice has made a number of recommendations, and I wanted to highlight some of those in our bill. Would you like me to do that now or after?
Why don't we do that now, because Representative O'Neill may have some questions to that also.
Okay, thank you very much. And I will try to narrow down my remarks because of the time. But the Select Committee on Racial Justice made a number of recommendations that we included in this bill. Recommendations included support for teachers of color and American Indian teacher supports, which included, and their recommendations was to increase investments in recruiting, training, retraining, and promoting teachers of color and Indigenous teachers through scholarships, implement stipends for paid student teaching opportunities to address income inequity challenges, and create barriers to diversify our pipeline for future teachers. We were able to, from the work we did in 2019, we already had $750,000 per year available for underrepresented teacher candidate grants. And by incorporating the language this year from Representative Keeler, we increased the teacher of color and Indigenous teachers candidate grants by $3.421 million for the biennium. And we also funded an aspiring teacher of scholarships for the first time for $4.5 million for the biennium, and that's a pilot program. There's a number of, we've changed other things in that area as well, but I will move on to the Select Committee on Racial Justice higher education recommendation that would increase funding for youth apprenticeships and work experience. In this bill, we included a provision that would require the Office of Higher Education to conduct a study of a work study program and analyzing how that program could be expanded to meet the needs of college students and enable more students to work on campus, and focusing on our BIPOC students as well. And then we also implemented measures that Representative Knorr was a part of. We have an intervention for college attendance program that we increased funding for. We have a summer academic enrichment program. And then we had, the other recommendation was in career technical education that the Select Committee on Racial Justice made on higher education. And that is to increase access to technical and trade college courses in high school. And Representative Pulowski has a pilot program in this bill, and it's $400,000 to create a pilot project to develop more career and technical instructors to help more students across the state graduate with an employable skill for certificate in the trades or manufacturing. Currently, a massive shortage of instructors in this area and a rapidly growing demand, especially among women and students of color and Indigenous students. And then the other area that was recommended by the Select Committee on Racial Justice was to provide access to free post-secondary remedial classes. And we were able to put language in this bill so that exempt any credits from taken that were developmental education from counting towards the credit limit for the state grant program. And then the other recommendation from the Select Committee on Racial Justice made higher education recommendations related to emergency funds for students. In our bill, we have support student basic needs at the Minnesota State, emergency assistance for post-secondary students, and extending childcare grant eligibility and increasing awards. And then other provisions I just want to mention, I already talked about the state grant program, and then our Hunger Free Campus grants, and which provides a process to grant awards from the Office of Higher Education for campuses to establish on-campus food shelf program. And this was brought by our Students Association, and we have now moved that to throughout all our colleges in the state. So thank you for all the members of our committee to make this a robust bill to help all of our students across the state.
Thank you, Chair Bernardy. Great work. So with that, I'm going to pass it back on to Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Chair Moran. I just have a quick question for Chair Bernardy. And when we were doing the committee work, I believe that we landed at still 113,000 above what the governor asked, above what the agency asked for OHE, for the Department of Higher Education. And I'm just wondering, I didn't hear in your explanation as to why we're going above their ask. And I'm wondering if you could explain to the committee here why we're doing 113,000 above what the agency ask was.
Chair Bernardy.
I want to defer that to the Office of Higher Education.
Okay.
The intent was to do their request.
Okay, we have someone here from the Department of Higher Ed. Please introduce yourself and begin.
Hi, Madam Chair. My name is Nikki Oliver. I'm the manager of grants and government relations for the Office of Higher Education. The 113, my understanding, is due to the added reports that are currently in the bill for transfer and work study. So I think the way they accounted for that was within the agency admin.
Okay, thank you. Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also have another question for Chair Bernardy. In the bill, you have frozen tuition for Means State, and they expressed some concern in freezing tuition because obviously Means State has two options for revenue, and that's state funds or tuition. And so freezing tuition, and then also obviously we have a limited amount of money that we can provide, puts them kind of in a difficult position. And I'm wondering if they're here and just could get on the record again what the impact will be on their institution, or if they would be raising mandatory fees, or raising revenue somewhere else.
Okay.
If they can answer that.
Yeah, so please, this is someone from Higher Ed who can respond to that.
Madam Chair, I don't believe we have any representatives from Minnesota State, so this may be a question for the chair.
Okay, Chair Bernardy.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I can't answer for Minnesota State, but this is something we said that with the federal dollars that are coming in, our goal of our bill was to help make sure students were invested in currently and in the future. And so we don't know all the end results of what's going to happen with the federal dollars, and we can revisit this if needed, but our goal is to help our students be able to hold on to tuition, as well as preserve the opportunities that they have.
Okay, Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My final comment would be, I have still great concerns about the direct admissions program that we're adding in here, and this is a governor's initiative. But essentially we are creating an entire system to tell a senior that, hey, by the way, did you know that because you graduated from high school here in Minnesota, that you are able to have admission into one of our 2-year campuses through Means State. And so it just seems like $1 million of kind of wasted money. I mean, we could certainly find a cheaper way, a more efficient way to let a senior in high school know that, hey, you can, if you graduate from a high school here in Minnesota, be admitted into a 2-year college at Means State. And I think we could spend $1 million a lot better. And, you know, this is creating an entire system. So it's not just a one-time appropriation. It's going to be something that will be ongoing. So I still oppose that in this bill. The remainder of the bill is pretty good. There's some interesting new initiatives, and I support the rest of it, but I still would like to see the direct admissions part removed. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Neal. Representative Mariani.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just very quickly, I just want to acknowledge and thank Chair Bernardy for working to address the racial equity challenges that we face at our post-secondary. Chair Bernardy, you and I, had early conversations even prior to the session about that, and as you began to hold your hearings, and a number of colleagues that I work with in the nonprofit education world have participated with you and with other legislators as well on this issue. We do have some real challenges in this state. We continue to have some pretty big disparities in terms of post-secondary, realizing post-secondary opportunities in many of our communities of color, Black, Indigenous, Latino, and good chunks of our Asian Pacific Islander communities as well. And I think your bill moves in the right direction in terms of addressing some of the very practical barriers that exist in these communities, particularly economic barriers. I'm really thankful for the amendment that you offered at the very beginning of this hearing, doing, among other things, adjusting the LME. Having a student financial aid approach that is aligned with the stark realities of economic disparities that exist in our state. It's just vitally important to be able to expand opportunity. And of course, if we don't do that, we're not only going to continue to perpetuate diminished opportunities in these communities, we're also increasingly going to hurt our state. And so anyway, just a very quick acknowledgement of these important steps, and look forward to us continuing to hone in on how to both deliver financial frameworks as well as strong student support frameworks that can really maximize opportunities for these communities.
Okay, thank you. Representative Garofalo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In closing, a question for the author of the bill. Is the author of the bill aware of how much federal money will be going to our higher ed institutions from the federal stimulus bill?
Chair Bernardy.
We could probably, well, I'll just tell, it's over $500 million that's coming to the state, and half of those dollars go directly to the students, and half go to the colleges to be spent on COVID-related dollars. As we understand now, there is not guidance out yet on how those dollars can be spent.
Representative Garofalo.
Thank you. And Madam Chair and Chair Bernardy, do you anticipate the legislature having any involvement at all in prioritizing or allocating those resources?
Chair Bernardy.
At this time, we are uncertain how the role that we would play. It's right now they are going directly to the students and then to throughout our state at our different colleges and universities for them to make their decisions on that.
Thank you. And Madam Chair and Chair Bernardy, in addition to the $552 million that's going to higher education institutions, as you described, there's also an additional over $2.5 billion that is going to the state that is highly discretionary. It's not as prescribed as the federal, the higher education money we described earlier. Do you anticipate that those in the higher education arena will be seeking to have any of those resources allocated to the higher education arena?
That is unclear at this. Thank you, Madam Chair. That is unclear at this point in time. We've had conversations with the Office of Higher Ed on possibilities on how those dollars could be spent. They are likely limited in the Office of Higher Education area. So that's what we know as of right now.
Okay. Thank you. Madam Chair and Chair Bernardy, just a final question. So if there were to be allocations made to higher education out of that discretionary fund, that $2.57 billion, is the legislature going to have any formal process in allocating those funds?
Chair Bernardy.
That is something that I would defer to Speaker Hortman.
Okay. So, Madam Chair, members, I do want to highlight that once again, at the federal level, there is $8 billion in federal money that's being sent to the state of Minnesota. Some of this is in alignment with what we've done in the past with federal funds, where a part-time legislature doesn't need to just reinterpret federal law. We allocate that funds. I don't think there's much of a dispute around that, but I would just ask members of both sides to take a look at the federal guidance and to look and notice that right now there's $2.7 billion in very discretionary funds that the Congress has given to the states. As I mentioned earlier, $2.57 billion is the state fiscal relief fund. There's also $178 million that's in the capital projects fund. And right now, when the bell rings on the end of the legislative session, the governor is going to take all that money and spend it the way he wants. And the legislature will have a purely advisory role in that. So we've had this discussion in this committee before. The majority has decided to prohibit its finance chairs from even allowing them to spend or prioritize any of that federal money. So even if Representative Bernardy did have something she wanted to use those federal funds on, she's prohibited from rule by even doing that. So I would hope that members of the DFL, either publicly or privately, take a more aggressive standpoint and take a look at these things and making sure that we're not just allowing the governor to unilaterally spend over $2.7 billion the way he wants. So because of the lack of involvement in federal issues and other issues, I'm voting no on this bill today. And I would strongly encourage members on my side of the aisle to do the same. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion to the bill? Any other questions? I'm not seeing any. Okay, well, what I would like to do is just really want to thank Chair Bernardy for her work. We know how important higher education is for those who are attending those institutions and the impact it will have on, let's just start with the income level. So I just want to thank Chair Bernardy for your strong support of our college students. And just also just lift up in the many provisions that you had within your bill, your equitable provisions that you had within your bills, and all our chairs, that I was able to hear how we're going to work to ensure that we are creating equity across the state of Minnesota, especially within our diverse communities. And for Chair Bernardy, your intentional reference of the recommendations that came from the Select Committee on Racial Justice, I think is a great opportunity just to move our state forward. And so with that, I want to offer last words to Chair Bernardy.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I appreciate your words, and I just want to before I wrap up, just thank all the people who came and testified this year in our unusual circumstances of Zoom. We opened our table to people, our students, our faculty, our administrators of our colleges and universities, and our members shared their stories, and we had robust conversations and really heard from Minnesotans. And so we could put their needs into this bill and make sure that we can do all we can to help them be successful in the completion of their credentials.
So there being no further discussion, Chair Bernardy renews her motion that House File 993 as amended be recommended for placement on the General Register, and that the nonpartisan staff be directed to make any necessary technical corrections. With that, Ms. Sparkman, please take the roll.
Chair Moran.
Aye.
Moran, aye. Vice Chair Olson.
Aye.
Olson, aye. Representative Garofalo.
Garofalo, no.
Garofalo, no. Representative Albright, excused. Representative Becker-Finn.
Aye.
Becker-Finn, aye. Representative Bernardy.
Aye.
Bernardy, aye.
Bernardy, aye.
Representative Eklund.
Aye.
Eklund, aye. Representative Hansen.
Aye.
Hansen, aye. Representative Hassan.
Hassan, aye.
Hassan, aye. Representative Hertaus.
Hertaus, no.
Hertaus, no. Representative Hornstein.
Hornstein, aye.
Hornstein, aye. Representative Johnson.
No.
Johnson, no. Representative Kresha.
Kresha, no.
Kresha, no. Representative Liebling.
Aye.
Liebling, aye. Representative Lilly.
Lily, aye.
Lilly, aye. Representative Mariani.
Mariani, aye.
Mariani, aye. Representative Marquardt.
Marquardt, aye.
Marquardt, aye. Representative Miller.
Miller, no.
Miller, no. Representative Nash.
Nash, no.
Nash, no. Representative Nelson.
Nelson, aye.
Nelson, aye. Representative Noor.
Noor, aye.
Noor, aye. Representative O'Neill.
O'Neill, no.
O'Neill, no. Representative Pulowski.
Pulowski, aye.
Pulowski, aye. Representative Petersburg, excused. Representative Pinto.
Pinto, aye.
Pinto, aye. Representative Schumacher.
Schumacher, no.
Schumacher, no. Representative Schultz.
Aye.
Schultz, aye. Representative Scott.
No.
Scott, no. Representative Sundin.
Aye.
Sundin, aye. 18 ayes, 9 nays.
So there have been 18 ayes and 9 nays. The motion prevails, and House File 993, as amended, is recommended for placement on the General Register, and nonpartisan staff are directed to make any necessary technical corrections. Thank you, Chair Bernardy.